Des milliers de manifestants se sont réunis samedi 1er mai à Trafalgar Square, au centre de Londres, en scandant en chœur « Kills Bill ». Les mouvements féministes tels que Sisters Uncut, le mouvement Black Lives Matter ou encore le parti politique Socialist Workers Party ont formé une large coalition contre le projet de loi qu'ils dénoncent comme une menace sérieuse pour leurs libertés fondamentales. The Police Crime Sentencing and Courts Bill, dite PCSC Bill, est un projet de loi du Parlement Britannique parrainé par Priti Patel, secrétaire d'État du ministère de l'Intérieur. Ce projet de loi comprend des réformes gouvernementales majeures sur le pouvoir de la police, les manifestations et les peines de prison. Les articles les plus controversés concernent le pouvoir accru de la police d'interrompre toute manifestation définie comme bruyante ou dérangeante, de définir une heure de début et de fin à toutes les manifestations et de contrôler toute personne sur la voie publique, ce qui va pour les détracteurs de cette loi encore plus impacter les minorités. J'ai interrogé quelques Britanniques présents sur place en leur demandant pourquoi il était important pour eux de manifester contre cette loi.
Protesting is one of our fundamental rights and this bill would basically wipe it out.
Yeah.
And because we all should have the chance to push back against a government which clearly doesn't care about us. And that's why we're standing out here today to fight for the very thing they're trying to take away from us.
To fight this very oppressive bill that will crush the right to protest and absolutely ruin democracy if we do not speak out.
This is extremely important, and anything that passes now on the lower levels, this is when basically before you know it, a lot of other bills are going to be passed and we're going to be in the shit and we're not going to be able to do.
We need to really keep up the momentum because it was in the news for about a week and now it's just left the news. So I think it's really important to keep the momentum going and to keep a sustained campaign against it because otherwise there's no chance that we're going to...
I've come here to protest today because the bill that wants to be is currently at the third stage in Parliament. It threatens the right of protest, it threatens people who are already over-policed, it threatens the most marginalised in society. It threatens to turn us into a state where we're even more of a police state, we don't have the basic civil liberties that we should have. So, I think that you can see here today there's a massive coalition of people who've come, and that's reflective of the fact that this bill, it threatens so many different people. So that's why there's so many people here today, and that's why I've come.
I wanted to make sure to show support and show that I do not agree with the bill that might be going forward and to hopefully make sure that it doesn't.
The important point of the bill is that essentially if people are found to be annoying or a nuisance, they can get up to 10 years in prison for that. And the government can decide what is annoying or what is a disturbance to the peace, but a disturbance to the peace is sometimes necessary when they're actually trying to make a change.
The bill basically seeks to disrupt protests and uprisings like these, and it's been going on for for a few weeks now. These protests, we've come out in troves and we've been speaking out.
So you used to be able to campaign outside Parliament and sit outside, a bit like Greta did in Sweden with the School for Climate campaign. In Parliament Square you can go and sit and protest anything with the government, anything. You already can't do that, which is why we're here now. You can't have any
Can't even
vehicles.
walk down the road.
We have to basically, I don't know where we're marching to, but it seems like round and round and
Round Trafalgar
The
Square.
police
We
can
should be
decide.
outside.
The police can decide when protests start and stop, which is a big response to Extinction Rebellion, who were doing overnight protests last year, or the year before. So it's like it's the start of a fascist state, basically.
For me, the points that are really scary are the points about how we protest, how many people will be allowed to, the noise restrictions that will be happening, and just the fact that it's going to really, really badly affect marginalised groups even more so, because this is what always happens with these things.
We want to be able to give the police more powers to be able to stop protests that may be on very flimsy, very vague reasons. So for example, police protests might be defined by some people as a disturbance or annoying or things like that. They'll give the police more rights to be able to just break up gatherings. And this is being done under the pretext of public health and the pandemic. The problem is that this is a bill that will set that in stone in our law for years to come, way beyond the pandemic. So we absolutely can't let that happen.
And do you think that the protest will put enough pressure on the government?
We'll see. I don't think one protest by itself is ever enough. We need to organise in our communities and get more opposition in not just in central London but across the UK. The protests in the wake of the murder of a woman in South London, Sarah Everard, the protests in the wake of that resulted in the bill being delayed. So it shows that protest can play a massive role in preventing these kinds of legislation or holding them up. So at very least we can do that.
I think it's one part. I think it's a big part of them. I think it's one of those reasons that they want to put the bill into place. And so if we can prove to them that people are angry at this, people are coming out, and people are going to not be quiet about this, then yeah, I think it will make a difference.
No, I think we're going to have to keep doing more and more work because this is something that the government have been wanting to put in place for a long time, I believe. So I think we're going to have to keep doing the work, keep building the momentum, and hopefully it won't go through.
If I'm speaking honestly, I don't know if we'll put pressure, but we have to get this message out there. And I think it's a lot more important for people to have this solidarity and have this understanding and this network of communication that we can stand up and we can fight for our rights and fight for a better future.